Beyond the postcard, what Paris is actually like. Social media has perfected the art of the travel postcard. With a few filters, clever cropping, and carefully timed edits, any city on Earth can look like a flawless paradise of tranquility, romance, and absolute perfection. We are fed a steady diet of pristine imagery that promises a magical escape from our everyday reality. Every scroll through an influencer's feed reinforces the same illusion: empty streets, golden light, and not a single trace of the 8 million other people who happen to be visiting that exact same landmark, that exact same week. The algorithm doesn't reward honesty, it rewards beauty. And beauty is easy to fake with the right 15 minutes of editing. But a postcard is a lie. When you step off the plane, the real world doesn't look like an Instagram reel. Horizons are met with smog, quiet streets are filled with bumper-to-bumper traffic, and those romantic, empty walkways are often packed shoulder to shoulder with thousands of frustrated tourists. The gap between the curated image and the lived moment is often so wide that first-time visitors describe a genuine sense of vertigo, as if they'd landed in the wrong city entirely. Some describe it almost like meeting a celebrity in person for the first time. The person is real, but somehow smaller, messier, and far more human than the airbrushed version they'd built up in their head. In fact, the gap between expectation and reality is so severe that it has a literal psychological name: the Paris syndrome, a state of profound culture shock experienced by visitors when a destination fails to live up to their idealized dreams. Doctors have documented cases of tourists experiencing dizziness, rapid heartbeat, and even hallucinations, all triggered by nothing more than a city failing to match the fantasy they'd built in their heads. Japanese tourism boards have taken the phenomenon seriously enough to set up support hotlines for citizens who arrive expecting a fairy tale and instead find a functioning, occasionally rude, thoroughly modern European capital. Today on the Travel Tribes, we are going beyond the postcard. We are stripping away the filters to explore what Paris is actually like in real life. The grit, the glory, the chaos, and the hidden magic that the cameras usually crop out. The reality check, the grit and the crowd. Let's start with the immediate reality check. The sheer scale of global tourism. The postcard promises an intimate moment between you and the Mona Lisa. The reality is a sweaty, claustrophobic ballroom, where you are crammed behind 200 other people holding up smartphones, all jostling for a glimpse of a painting that is much smaller than you expect. Most visitors spend more time looking at the back of someone else's phone screen than they do looking at the actual canvas. The painting itself is smaller than a standard laptop screen, a detail that shocks almost everyone who's only ever seen it reproduced at billboard size online. The postcard shows a quiet stroll along the Seine River. The reality is dodging aggressive souvenir vendors pushing cheap plastic trinkets, navigating around heavy construction barriers, and dealing with the persistent undercurrent of pickpockets who target distracted tourists in every major European hub. A single moment of looking up at the skyline instead of down at your bag is often all a practiced thief needs. Local police estimate that a tourist loses a wallet or phone to petty theft in the city almost every few minutes during peak season, a statistic that turns "keep your bag zipped" from a cliché into genuinely useful advice. And then there's the city itself. Paris is not a romantic film set. It is a living, breathing, working metropolis of over 2 million people. It has subway systems that smell like exhaust, grit on the pavement, and locals who are rushing to work and have absolutely zero patience for a tourist blocking the subway turnstile to take a photo. To them, the metro isn't a backdrop. It's a 50-minute commute they've made 5,000 times before. And your camera flash means nothing to a schedule they can't afford to miss. Multiply that daily frustration across 2 million residents, and you start to understand why a city famous for romance can also feel, at 8 a.m. on a Monday, exactly like any other overcrowded transit system on Earth. If you arrive expecting a flawless fairy tale, this raw energy can feel jarring, cold, or even disappointing. But that disappointment only happens because you fell in love with a myth instead of a real place. The myth was built by marketing boards and movie directors, not by anyone who actually had to renew a metro pass or find parking near the Louvre on a weekday. The pivot, where the real magic lives. But here is the beautiful twist. Once you accept that the postcard myth is fake, you open yourself up to a reality that is actually far better. The true magic of Paris doesn't exist at the top of the Eiffel Tower or inside the commercial tourist hubs. The real city lives in the details that social media completely ignores, the parts that don't compress well into a 9-second video clip. A 90-minute wait in the sun for an elevator ride doesn't make for a viral moment. A quiet afternoon spent doing absolutely nothing in a neighborhood square usually does, but almost nobody films it. The real Paris is found in the Canal Saint-Martin on a Tuesday evening, where locals sit by the water with a bottle of wine and a pizza, laughing as the sun goes down. It's found in a tiny, independent bookstore in the Latin Quarter, where the smell of old paper fills the air, and the owner can tell you the exact shelf where a forgotten Camus first edition sits. It's found in the absolute perfection of a simple €3 baguette, bought from a neighborhood boulangerie, where the baker has spent 30 years mastering his craft. A piece of bread that costs less than a bottle of water, but delivers more genuine satisfaction than most restaurant meals costing 50 times as much. When you look past the commercialized icons, you realize that the grit and the elegance of the city aren't fighting each other, they coexist. A crumbling stone archway sits 2 feet from a Michelin-starred restaurant, and neither one cancels the other out. A street performer plays violin outside a designer boutique, and both belong exactly where they are. The real charm of Paris isn't that it's perfect. It's that it's profoundly human, contradictions and all. How to experience the real city. To experience a destination beyond the postcard, you have to change your behavior. First, stop chasing the exact photos that everyone else has already taken. The moment you stop looking at a destination through the lens of a replica image, you start seeing the details that make it unique. That means putting the phone away for entire stretches of the day. Not to disconnect entirely, but to actually notice what's in front of you, instead of what's in the frame. Ironically, the travelers who take the fewest photos often come home with the richest stories. Second, embrace the imperfections. Don't let a dirty subway station or a blunt waiter ruin your day. Treat them as part of the texture of travel. The local waiter isn't being rude. He's operating under a different cultural standard of efficiency and privacy. In Paris, a waiter who doesn't hover over your table and check in every 5 minutes isn't neglecting you. He's respecting the fact that your table is yours for as long as you want it, a courtesy many visitors mistake for coldness. When you adjust your expectations to meet the culture where it actually stands, the friction vanishes almost immediately, sometimes within a single meal. The real world is messy, loud, and unpredictable, and that is exactly why travel is worth doing. A perfect postcard can inspire a dream, but it's the flawed, chaotic reality that creates a true adventure, the kind you actually remember years later, instead of just liking on a feed. Fall in love with reality. Conclusion. So, what is Paris actually like? It's crowded, it's gritty, it's expensive, but it's also breathtakingly beautiful, culturally unmatched, and filled with an undeniable, intoxicating energy that has inspired artists for centuries. It is a spectacular city. You just have to love it for what it is, not what a screen told you it should be. Thanks for going beyond the postcard with us today on the Travel Tribes. If you want to explore the world with real, unfiltered eyes, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and comment below, which destination do you want us to look at next? We'll see you on the next journey.